Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Now, welcome back.
Well, that's real nice. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We're
Welcome
back with we're gonna do a movie review for Jungle Cruise.
That's a lie.
No, it's not. That's what we're doing, man. We're doing a review. We're back with a movie review for Jungle Cruise with Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt. What was his name? Paul Giamatti, even though he had a small part.
Who?
That was the guy with the suit and the hat at the beginning.
No, but I never heard the actor before.
Oh, that's Paul Giamatti. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I don't know who played her brother, Emily Blunt's brother, in this movie. A lot of different characters. I thought overall, I think the one movie was pretty good. I would say it was fantastic. I think it was a typical Disney movie, like certain parts where that there was like the big Disney style music I noticed, and it reminded me of kind of like a combination. Of course, you haven't seen this movie yet. I keep saying we're going to watch it. The Mummy and Raiders of the Lost Ark and Pirates of the Caribbean. Kind of like more like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, you're forgetting one more. There was another movie too. The Rock was in it. What was it called? Journey to the
No, that was
center.
that was part two, but it wasn't really like that. So
yeah, but there was underwater scenes in it though that
That's
kind of
true.
resembled it.
It's also kind of like movies with Nicolas Cage, National Treasure. So it's kind of like
that.
It kind of reminded me of those very similar. Like there was a lot of parts where the villain in this movie, or I wouldn't say there was two villains. There was the conquistadors, and then there was the British guy. I think he was British.
Yeah, they were going after the that tree they were looking for that supposedly has magic healing powers.
He reminded me of one of the villains from the original Raiders of the Lost Ark. The guy who was a Nazi. Kind of reminded me of the same, very similar character. At least that's what was my take on it. Very much, except of course it's a much bigger role than that guy had. But overall, like reminded me of those movies, like the National Treasure, Raiders of the Lost Ark style movie. But you could tell from the get go, it was very much a Disney movie. It just had that. Disney has a style of movie, and it just reminded me so much of Disney once it started.
Yeah, definitely. The story itself, I think, was definitely well done. I will say, they sort of kicked it off with the whole backstory of it of how, when it first comes on the movie, they show like this guy talking in front of like these other men. I think they're all scientists. I think from like the 1600s. No, I'm sorry, not the 1600s. My bad. During when World War One was happening, during I think 1910 or something. I think, and he's like trying to get them to release documents and stuff about this legend of how they've been looking for this tree for hundreds of decades, and they've not been able to. So then, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's character Frank, he tells Emily Blunt's character Lily that he's 600 years old.
No, 400 years old.
400?
Yeah, 400.
Oh, I'm sorry, 400 years old, and that Frank is not his real name, and that his real name is Francisco. I think Spanish or Hispanic name.
Yeah, so he's one of the like conquistadors who went to find this thing. He kind of was like again, Pirates of the Caribbean when they found the youth in one of the movies. I forget which one. I think that was one of the last ones. They were trying to find the fountain. He's on Stranger Tides, maybe.
Yeah,
it's kind of very similar. Like you see, this will hear everything. Find the youth will keep you young forever. Whatever. Very, very similar story.
Yeah. So basically, they team up together to go find this tree, and they end up finding it, but it was located underwater all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Lily had to swim and like pull this like lever or whatever, and then all the water started draining out, and it was like this underwater city located underneath for God only knows how long, for many hundreds of years, and he finally discovered it after all this time. And so as they get to the tree, the villain shows up. They all do. The guy and the soldiers. And I thought the fight scene for that was really well done. They did an excellent job with that. The snakes and the faces and everything. Even at one point, Frank was, I think, shot or whatever, and I thought he was dead because he got obviously he fell into a river, but he managed to be alive somehow. I think it's because of that. Because of
Oh,
those.
when they were in the original village with all the people, like the headhunters or whatever.
Well, yeah, well that and the scene underneath.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what scene you were talking about.
Yeah. So I thought the action scenes in this were definitely well done. I thought it was just very cool. A lot of fighting. As far as comedy wise, like funny wise, there were
Yeah, I
some
thought
funny
there was
parts.
more funny parts than I thought there was going to be. There's a lot of dry humor, like the Dwayne Johnson's character at the beginning. He's doing jungle cruises, and he's not seeing these really off, dry jokes on what you call them. Funny things like he said he worked in a was an orange factory. They put the squeeze on him, and I forget what else. There was a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
He kept saying all these terrible like one-liners, and he was just going on with them. It's supposed to be really terrible dry humor because even the passenger on his cruise on the cruise ship, if you want to call it, they were even trying to saying please stop, like because it's just terrible. None of them were getting it. He kept just throwing them out there, and none of them were laughing. They didn't think it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like a little bit surprised by that because usually every Disney movie with The Rock in it usually ends up being pretty funny. But this one, there wasn't that many funny scenes in it. It was a lot of it was actually serious or like sarcastic kind of type. Um, but besides the film wise, I don't know if they'll make a sequel to it. I know The Rock put out something on Twitter. I think that they're having a meeting next week to discuss whether or not a sequel will happen. I'm sure it will because so far I've heard the movie's done actually pretty well in the box office and at home for those that are watching it at home. Um, I don't know what it would be about. I mean, the ending really
It was
it
kind
was
of
it was like kind of like an open door type ending, like the film itself sort of like kept the door open for these characters to return, like basically it was like just a big conclusion, like the narrator talking so the adventurers found the Amazon,
yeah. I mean,
whatever.
I don't think it's really. I don't think it's be worthy of a sequel. I think it's fine on its own. I can't. I mean, sure, it's going to open it like you could still make a sequel if you wanted, but I just don't.
Or maybe or maybe a spin-off movie or
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see him making any kind of sequel for. I think it's just fine by itself. I don't think this. You don't need to drag it like certain movies, like Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know how many they got. 4, 5. I forget how many. I think they have
there's a
5.
lot of them.
Rumors of another one. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if they were gonna do a Jungle Cruise sequel, I mean, I could see it sort of being about the Rock's character kind of bit because they did include a little bit of a backstory about him, but not fully. So I could see um, maybe him getting a little bit of an origin story or something.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure,
I think
but
overall the characters were pretty good. Like realize that Dwayne Johnson's characters, he's really he's trying to cover up the fact of who he was, and he's also he's a big light. He kept coming up with all these elaborate stories and what do you want to call it? Like there's one part where they go to a village. He's calling it the Headhunters Village, and they're gonna kill him. It turns out it's just part of this big thing he does where he's paying these people to help with this elaborate story to try to scare people out. I don't know exactly what they were getting up to. They realized that the village is not real headhunters. It's just people that he knows.
yeah,
And he's the woman even says, "Frank, I'm gonna tell you, put me up with these whatever things to do." So overall, yeah, they find out at the beginning where he's like really he's just a liar, not a good person. But it turns out he's just doing it for a valid reason. He's trying to keep other people away from finding this treasure or whatever.
yes,
Um, Overall, I thought the brother. I don't know what his name was. I think he did a pretty good job. That was a part that reminded me of like uh, the movie The Mummy. There's one character in a brother, one of the main characters. He's just kind of reminded me of that. So um, overall, I think that it was really well done.
Yeah.
It was very much, like I said, very much a Disney movie. It was a fun movie, very typical of other movies. Like I said, The Fountain of Youth versus this other thing, which is supposed to heal people. Very similar. The characters are very similar to other movies I've seen. Um, I just think it was a fun movie on the Jungle Cruise, which is one of the rides at Disneyland, Disney World. I don't
Yeah, I
think
know.
they do.
I know they are coming out with the Jungle Cruise ride soon.
No, there is one.
There is one?
Yeah.
It's already open?
Yeah, we've gone on it. You probably don't remember because you're totally too young.
Oh. I thought they were coming out with a new one.
I mean, I don't know if there's
or an update to it or something.
I have no idea. I just don't like like the Headhunters. Like if you go on Disney, I know I've never been to Disney, but Disney World when you go on the Jungle Cruise, there's a part of the skipper of the cruise ship you're on talks about how watch out for the Headhunters. So I thought that was kind of funny how they did that. About how there's headhunters on the ride and headhunters in this movie. And like the fake killer hippo, there's a scene where Dwayne's character brings up out for the killer hippo. There's no killer hippos, but I think that might also be in one of the rides. I don't recall exactly which creatures were there. I think the tiger was right. I don't know if it was tiger or leopard. It was really well done. Like it looked pretty believable. It wasn't obviously CGI. They're not going to use a real one, but it looked. It didn't look too fake. I think they did a good job with the CGI, version of it. Overall, I think this movie was pretty good. I don't want to make this review too long, but I would, if you get a chance to check it out, check it out. I don't know if I would pay to see it again, but it was just, it was just a decent movie.
Yeah, it was like one of those, like I would say it's a movie more for like a family with kids kind of.
Yeah.
For like, if you have kids or whatever, I'm sure they would enjoy it, but us older people, it was alright.
Yeah, it was a family movie, funny movie, nothing really scary, so it was just a decent movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're going to wrap this one up. I don't want to make it too long. I appreciate you guys tuning in to check out our videos, so hit that like and subscribe.
Until next time.